Never forget two people in this world. Number one, the person who lost everything just to make you win. Number two, the person who was with you in every pain.
But they're all addicted. Are they addicted because they're on the street, or are they on the street because they're addicted? Either or. Doesn't matter. The fact is, how do you get through a night where it's zero dim if you're not on something? So I do have some sympathy for that, but I can also not work with someone who is addicted. Therefore, we have it in our program to get clean before you get to it. Because you can't work for someone and be addicted on something, because then you're going to lose your job anyway.
It's very important. The brain is very important, but the brain can do nothing if there's no hands, and the eye can do nothing, if there's no brain. And so, all of these in the body of Christ, we have, there is unity in this diversity. We have various gifts. 1 Corinthians 12, verse 12 to 31, I'm going to read it. So we are a community. So,
it means to you, and how are you celebrating it?
Okay. So, to be honest, I think Nelson Mandela Day is a nice gateway to get people to come to us. But I do believe that it is important that it shouldn't be just one day. It should be a regular day. The thing, you need to be in tune with what is happening in your community. And if it's not homeless for you, then make it children or animals or whatever. There's a lot of people who's already invented the wheel. You just need to get involved. I tried to explain to the group that was here this morning, I said to them, just live a life where you actually actively think about what can I do to make these people's lives easier. If I can keep this plastic bottle and I can give it to them because they can serve porridge in it tomorrow, it makes a difference. I would have just thrown it away. It helps the environment, it helps the people that it's helping in the system. There's a lot of things that you can change your mind and your mindset about. 67 minutes is not that. But he started it. He left the legacy. He started the concept of think for yourself and think for your community and think for how can you help the people around yourself. And for that, I think that it's worth it.
Because I had my own house in Johannesburg, and I had to sell it because I was the only white lady around there. They wanted to kill me.
Yeah.
And the police come to me and I said, okay. And when I sell my house,
Yeah.
you know what happened?
No?
The Nigerian who bought this attorney,
Yeah.
he and the agent took my money and they ran away.
Okay. So I want to know, how long have you been homeless?
From last year.
From last year you went homeless.
And then I always walk past here, and there's no what place is this? And they welcome and said, come here, we will help you. And they gave me a social worker, Kelly,
Yeah.
and she tried to get me homeless.
So you went homeless after you lost your home.
Yes.
And then where were you living at that time? You were living in the streets where?
I sleep under the bridge.
Oh, you slept under the
All
bridge.
over until I find this place.
Please try to survive on the streets. How did you get the
You know,
food?
people give us food,
Yeah.
and clothes, and there was body.
Yeah. So and then you found the foundation and then yeah.
In the streets. Where was your family at the time and where are they now?
My family most is overseas.
Oh.
I've got no family here.
Oh.
I'm alone. I'm a pensioner.
No kids?
I'm 73 years old.
Okay.
And God looks after me. And
We are a service centre for homeless individuals that are actively still living on the streets. In our service centre, we do basic services for homeless individuals. That includes showering, that includes food, clothing, blankets, toiletries, whatever they might need for the day, but it is basic services. We also have a social worker involved in our project. We will help them with the process and the road that they walk. So the program that we run have 4 phases. We are 2 of the phases, and we adapted that from U-turn. So the first phase is that people actively still living on the streets. They come to us and do the basic services. When they get to a point where they want to do a little bit more, we try to get them into our program by saying, if you've changed your mind about where you are and you want to go more, we move you to phase 2, which is the rehabilitation phase. And in rehabilitation phase, we look at how to get you clean from whatever you are on. Now, obviously, some of them would say they are not addicted, and then we would do the program anyway, because it's a 12-step program anyway, which is life lessons and life coordination. So these guys get clean. After 3 months that they are clean, we move them up to phase 3, which is the work readiness phase, and then they start working actively inside the shops that U-turn has, or we bring them back here and they become supervisors for the phase 1 clients that's here. So they learn how to do the farming God's way and the gardens we've got here. They do the compost heap that we've got on that side. They make it themselves. We sell them. That is the way we get the money in order for them to keep on having the services that we do. So the idea is to be a stepping stone for someone to find their own route, their own way off the street again. And then obviously phase 4 would be the exit, when they start working in the community again.
So
my name is Tshepo Foundation. I'm coming from Eburuleni, Israel, 737. Yeah. Today we wanna to say we thank you for our contributors around the world, because Mandela Day, and there's a long walk to freedom. Keep on guys to assist us, and keep on guys to assist those who still have a need of your hands.
Can you please tell us what led you to being here at this center?
To be here at this center, I learned to be a non-violence person, and I also learn about different things, how to farm. Also, I learn about different triggers, because trigger can be anything. Trigger can be a money, trigger can be a friend, trigger can be a clubs, trigger can be anything just from the object. But is what we learn about this place.
And then how did you end up being here? That I think that was my question. Yes. How did you end up being here? What were you doing before? What kind of challenges led you to be here at this center?
Actually, I did be a disobedient person, especially when I drink, to not respect my surrounding, like my community, to go on and hurt other people, to not respect, like to abantu mawutakiwe, you see. I end up to go to okay, I must now be distance away for lamacalo ngayenzi, and only I find out I was on the streets now, alone. Yeah, because I was on the street maybe for 1 year, I ran back. So as I go along on this journey, I totally advise that there is a place that can make you to be better. Yeah.
So ever since you arrived here, have you seen any improvements on your life? If so, I mean, ama changes now figure laphayana ubonile ama changes amanjani?
Actually, here ngiyakhona ukuhlala one place, and day by day ngiyakhona ukuthi ngi-attend. So ngi-side away from my substance, like alcohol, maybe from dacha, maybe from my bad friends. So my changes here, mina ngibona ngumuntu ukuthi njengoba ngila, I'm a person ngumuntu ongakhona ukuhlala just ilokhu nje iviki ingaphuzanga. So yeah, I think ngiyaku recover yami because la ngiyakhona ukuhlala senginabo ma 6 months if I count. Ukuhlala nje just to sober into bengayikhona elokushini.
You mentioned that you were taking, you were consuming alcohol and also daga and stuff like that. When you were taking those, what kind of a person were you? Were you stealing other people's stuff? Were you, just paint a picture to us? What kind?
Okay, as I said, I was a disobedient, ne? But mina bongumuntu ukuthi ngenza lokunja ama piece swap. Like to take somebody's things, I don't think so. Because I believe ukuthi like utshwala, ne? Like I made you, but you change you, and you change the behavior, and you distance me from my people. So I was in the dark channel whereby there's no light.
Many people have managed to pass the last stage to get those skills development and manage to get jobs.
Okay. So those statistics are a little bit shy in Joburg at the moment.
Okay.
Tshepo has only taken become a franchise partner in 2023, end of 2023. We started on a 3-day service centre course in the beginning of 2024. July we started with a 5-day. So we haven't been in circulation that long, so it makes a big difference in terms of the fact that the exit hasn't happened that much, because your work readiness stage is about 1.5 years. So for one person to have started the process at the beginning and having to end, that process wouldn't have been ended. So we don't have that much numbers yet in Joburg, because we are the first service centre of U-turn in Joburg. There's another one that just opened in Pretoria, CBD, and they have all 4 phases on their program, so that might run a little bit faster, but again, no one that could graduate yet. In Cape Town, they do have a 90% pass rate for when they leave, because that's the idea, is to be sustainable, not to just leave and then end up back in the soup kitchen in a few months. So the idea is to actually be on your feet by the time that you get out.
Okay.
So in terms of my soup kitchen, today we've got about 20 guys, but we average about 30 to 50 guys on a daily basis. We do on Monday, Wednesday, Thursdays and Fridays. Wednesdays are the most busiest. I cannot explain that, but Tuesdays are, and some of the other days are trolley days, so then the guys just don't pitch. So it depends on what happens in the area. Some of them still hold on to the police jobs, which I think is the way out of the street. It is obvious that doesn't work, so they end up coming back to the soup kitchens.
We push until from 2016, the things started to grow and become good. And now, as I'm speaking, 2025, I've got 8 guys that I'm employing permanently, and I've got my truck, the garden trailer, it's always helped me quite a lot. And I'm also training guys here to do tree-felling, how to manage business, entrepreneurship, to use your hands. And because of lack of employment, we have to do your things. You don't have to rely on the government. So I'm teaching them a lot of things, how to use your hands through what I know. So in brief, that's my story.
Thank you, Lucky. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it.
So what are the challenges that lead these people to want to live on the street?
I've got a friend who always say you're three bad choices away from being on the street yourself.
Yeah.
And sometimes, or I believe, every day we have a choice.
Yeah.
The problem is our homeless people have a choice between bad and worse.
Yeah.
They don't have a choice between good and bad, which makes it very difficult to get off the street. It's a systemic problem. The system doesn't work. There is no spaces for them to stay. They come to Joburg to come find a job. they don't find a job, or they lose the job, or they didn't get as much as they could. Number one. And number two, the staying in Joburg is expensive. So even if you do have a job, you don't have enough money to stay in a place to stay. So if you sleep on the street for a week, what is your boss going to say? After a week, it's going to say, sorry, you stinking, go, if you lose your job anyway. So the whole process and the whole system is not working for these guys. So they come here for this milk and honey that Joburg is going to give them. They don't find it. What do? They end up on the street. Luckily, there is a system like ours that can help them, but they need resources in order to get out. There's a lot of trauma on the streets. They are prone to a lot of victimization. They get robbed. They get some of the community members wants to vacate the vagrants because they make our parks dirty, and they do it with guns, and they burn their stuff. So they are vulnerable, and they are needed to be protected as well. And unfortunately, sometimes it's choices that they make, but sometimes you become addicted because you're on the street, not you got addicted, that's why you're on the street. So this is a little bit of a different situation. The situation that they're living in is not fair, and it's not nice, and it's not pretty.